Hey Coin Collectors, it's DC on the Big D. We got the 1901 Morgan dollar here for you. You can see it right here in the center. It says E pluribus unum around the top, 1901 here. And if you count, you'll see that there's 7 stars on this side, 6 on this side, 13 stars for the original 13 colonies, and Lady Liberty, or the Liberty Head, they sometimes call this. And you can see it says Liberty right in the center of her cap that she has on. She has a Phrygian cap on here, but she also has kind of a wreath around it. And guess what's on the wreath up there? Let me show you what it is. There it is right there. It's wheat ears. She's got some kind of wheat or grain up here among the flowers and the other things. If we look at it, we see wheat or grain. We see a maple leaf here. We see some flowers, some other leaves here. And so just a really detailed drawing that you don't see initially unless you magnify it a little bit. So 1901 at the bottom. 1901 was the 23rd year that they made the Morgan dollar. They only made it for 3 years after that. They stopped making them in 1904. And this is a silver dollar, and you can see that it is a big, kind of chunky silver dollar. The Morgan dollar itself is worth over $20 in silver. If we look at it, we see it says United States of America. Down here it says $1. There's an O there, and that's for the New Orleans Mint. The New Orleans Mint was open from the 1830s until 1909. During the Civil War, it ended up being closed, and then after the Civil War, it didn't open up again until 1878 when the first Morgan dollars came out, and they came out from the New Orleans Mint, the Philadelphia Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, the New Orleans Mint with an O, and the San Francisco Mint with an S on the back. They brought the New Orleans Mint back online, and they started with these silver dollars. These silver dollars, the Morgan silver dollars, were the salvation of the New Orleans Mint, but then they also ended up being the end of the New Orleans Mint when they stopped making Morgan silver dollars in 1904. Now some of you say, well, no, they didn't stop making them in 1904. They stopped making them in 1921, and they did. But they didn't, from 1904 to 1921, they didn't make any Morgan silver dollars. And then in 1921, they just came through and tried to use up the silver because they were getting ready for the 1921 peace dollars to come out. This is a 1922, second year of the peace dollar. In 1921, they had both Morgan dollars and peace dollars, and they called it a peace dollar, the new one, because on the back, right below the eagle, it said peace. We'd just been through a world war. It wasn't called World War I at the time. It was called the War to End All Wars. And people were hopeful that we wouldn't have any more wars. And we didn't for another 20 years until World War II. It is about the same size as the Eisenhower dollar. But when we tip them up, we see that the Eisenhower dollar has a little bit of brown on it. Morgan dollar doesn't. And that's because the Eisenhower dollars, when they first came out, were clad dollars, except for some special silver issues from 1971 to 1974. And then again, they had a silver issue for the bicentennial coin in 1976. How many of the Morgan dollars did they make at the New Orleans Mint? They made 13.3 million. The best one they found so far was a Mint State 68. $75,000 for Mint State 68 of this. Even if you get some that are somewhat worse off, you still could be talking to thousands of dollars getting down into the low Mint State 60s and below. How many did they make at the Philadelphia Mint? And of course, you know the Philadelphia Mint's not going to have a mint mark on the back. At the Philadelphia Mint, they made 7 million. The best one they found so far is in Mint State 66 from Philly. And that's going to have all the feathers on here and everything else. This bird actually has feathers on its chest, has much more detail than it. If you get one, it isn't worn down. So at the Philadelphia Mint, they made 7 million. The MS66 version is worth $700,000. They also have 6 major varieties of double dies and other things, and 3 shifted eagle reverse varieties where the eagle isn't sitting in the same place on the back from the Philadelphia Mint in 1901. And finally, at the San Francisco Mint, we don't have the S here with us today, but it would have an S here for San Francisco Mint. The San Francisco Mint, they made 2.3 million. And the best coin they found at the San Francisco Mint with the S down here is an MS67. They found 3 of them, and so those are worth about $32,500. Is it worth checking out these Morgan dollars if you get one? Yes, it is. How would you check them out? Well, a couple different ways, but one of the ways you could do it is just go online, go to PCGS or NGC websites, and look at the pictures they have of the really good ones. And if yours looks anything like that, then you may have some value. The other thing you can do is you can take it to a local coin dealer and just ask him what the local coin dealer thinks the grade might be and the value might be. Remember that some of these Morgan dollars were never used, and they were essentially kept by the mint until the 1950s and released. So some of these Morgan years, they're only going to be worth $25 or $26 for many of them. A lot of them under $40 because they were never used and never circulated. They were just released again in the 1950s, never having left the mint until then. All right, well, that's all we have today from Big D Coins. We'd love to have you subscribe to the Big D Coin channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.